Welcome to another edition of the Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy LegacyCast. I'm Jim Stark, the Executive Director, and we're joined once again by a favorite of ours who did a wonderful job last time with us, and that's former Detroit Piston and sportsman at large, Ray Scott. And Ray, welcome back to join us again on the LegacyCast. You did a great job the last time you were with us, but I've got to ask you today, though, the Detroit Pistons, you know I'm kind of covering them now. They're really going through a formative time in their history, but you've seen this before in other Pistons teams, haven't you?
Yes, I have. What I like about this team, though, is that they seem to come back from bad times. And that's what you want to see in a team. How will they, what's their character? And will they come back and really be a good or formidable team? And I see this in this team. I think there's some things they have to iron out. And anyone's going to suffer when you have injuries. When you have a third of your lineup out with injuries, that's going to impact you. But what happens when you get healthy? And I think as this team gets healthy, they're going to play a major role in the Eastern Conference.
Well, as I look back at it, Ray, I see there's kind of been four eras of success in the Pistons' history. First one was yours, back in the mid-'70s. First team to have 50 wins. Had those wonderful playoff runs, maybe not wonderful to you, but for a fan watching it, those wonderful playoff runs against the hated Chicago Bulls. Then you had, of course, the Bad Boys era. Then you had the Grant Hill era, which was the next kind of an uptick. And then, of course, you had the Joe Dumars-led 2004 no superstar era.
Right.
Would you agree those are kind of the four eras of success?
Yeah, my favorite, my actual favorite, and I'm believe me, I'm an Isaiah Thomas devotee. I really appreciate Zeke for everything that he brought to this franchise. But my favorite team is that 2014 because it was a team without superstars, and that's the ideal of every coach. You know, Chauncey, Rip, the Wallaces, and Tayshaun, they were something special. And that you could win a championship in the NBA and not have a superstar player is quite telling. And it's not something that you've seen a lot of.
It's pretty rare that if you look back at NBA history, it's not very often that's happened.
Right. That's right.
Can you think even another one that you might, maybe the Supersonics, maybe? Back when they won.
But they had Jack Sikma.
Yeah.
But Jack Sikma and they had Johnson, Dennis Johnson.
Yeah.
But the other team that might come close to the Pistons were the old Syracuse Nationals with Dolph Schayes, Earl Lloyd, Johnny Kerr, Larry Costello, and Paul Seymour. That was not a star-laden team, but it was a star. It was a star in terms of them being a group of players that went around beating the crap out of everybody.
Do you think those four teams or three teams we talked about in the Pistons history all went through times like the Pistons are going through right now?
Oh, sure.
Trying to find that personality. And so what happens then to take them from going off to being just an also-ran to make them a champion? What has to happen now in the next year or two to take them up that level?
You stay the course. And you have to have a good general manager-coach relationship so he can help you build on the parts that make you better from one year to the next. And it seems like that could happen with the Pistons. I think Coach Casey is one of the greats. I mean, again, a man that was named Coach of the Year on the same day that he was fired. Does
that make you feel a little bit better about not getting your job after being Coach of the Year, right?
No, doesn't make me feel any better.
But that shows you, though.
He should still have been in Toronto, too, because he was building that organization.
You aren't the only one that have gotten a short of a stick over the years.
So, but he's come here, I think, and will prove that he's high quality. And again, he was on his way until, he had a 6-game losing streak, but he had a 6-game losing streak with three players on the bench, 2 of them starters, So when you have those types of injuries where people are sitting on the bench sitting next to you, that's not a good thing.
You've seen a lot of superstars come through Detroit and the Pistons roster. Where does Blake Griffin fit in that pantheon of superstars?
Oh, I think Blake's going to be a Hall of Famer. I think he's going to fit right in being a Hall of Famer. The thing that I'm concerned about with Blake are injuries And if he's injured, he plays such a major role in the team. That could impact the team greatly. But he doesn't play with the great leaping ability that he used to play with. But now he's playing the role that DeMar DeRozan played for Toronto, which is a point forward, a guy the forward that handles the ball a great deal, 60, 70% of the time. And he does it well, and he has a high number of assists. He rebounds the ball, and I didn't believe that he was a three-point shooter, but he's a three-point shooter. So, he's a Hall of Famer. But if he's healthy, they're going to be in the hunt.
So this year, is this Piston team a team that can win into the second round of the playoffs? This year coming up in 2019.
I think so if they're healthy. That's the thing. If Reggie Bullock is hurt, or if Ish Smith is hurt, or if Stanley Johnson's hurt, if that happens, or if Blake is even hurt, we have a problem. But if we're at 100%, I think that this team could easily get to the second round.
Ray Scott, thank you very much again for joining us. No more fun person I can think of to talk basketball or sports than you are. So we'll have you back again if you'll join us.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been my friend Ray Scott, Jim Stark, another edition of the Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy LegacyCast. Of course, you can visit our website and see all of our LegacyCasts dating back to when we first started this tradition some months ago. And we'll see you next time on next edition of the Michigan Sports Legacy Conservancy LegacyCast.